Yi Qingtang was shocked to hear that. The people on this mainland joined forces to kill that extraordinary lady, yet she still thought of protecting everyone before she died? Kind heart. The little white tiger said. Yi Qingtang was a little speechless. This was no longer because of a kind heart. This was a true holy mother. What's the use of the dimension wall? Yi Qingtang mumbled. It's actually very simple. The people on this mainland could leave easily, but outsiders would not be able to enter. This is the use of the dimension wall, the little white tiger said. That's not right, Yi Qingtang shook her head. If that's the case, how did the Blood Moon Holy Lord pass through the dimension wall and enter this mainland? Calculating the time, it had been probably 2,000 years since the death of that extraordinary lady. It was said that the Blood Moon Holy Lord was an outsider who entered this mainland. If it was like what the little white tiger said, it should have been impossible for the Blood Moon Holy Lord to enter this mainland. The little white tiger sighed. I've told you 800 times to stay away from that Blood Moon Holy Lord. Do you think the Blood Moon Holy Lord that you see? Anyways, the dimension wall does not have any effect on the Blood Moon Holy Lord. The little white tiger stopped talking after that instant. No matter how Yi Qingtang pressed it for an answer, it kept its mouth shut and did not utter a single word. Little moron. How dare you insult the Holy Lord? The Blood Moon Elder looked as if he wanted to kill the little white tiger. Fuck you. When have I ever insulted the Blood Moon Holy Lord? Get lost, damn woman. The little white tiger spat at the Blood Moon Elder. The Blood Moon Elder hollered. Fuck you. The little white tiger screamed. Fuck you. Yi Qingtang stopped the human and tiger from swearing at each other and was in deep thought alone. The dimension wall could prevent outsiders from entering this mainland. Yi Qingtang racked her brains hard but still could not think of what this had to do with her and the black-robed person divulging news of her. However, it was fortunate that those powerful figures were a distance away from the evil spirit's realm and still required a period of time to rush here. Currently, Yi Qingtang only had two options. The first option was to stay away from the land of inheritance. The second was to continue heading toward the land of inheritance. Logically, the proper thing to do was to stay away from this place now that her location was revealed. But thinking from another perspective, if that was really the case, she would be further away from the truth. Perhaps, she might not even know why she died in the hell of Avicenaraka mystic realm. Ultimately, Yi Qingtang decided to head to the land of inheritance. She believed that the black-robed person would appear again. Holy Lady, what's there to be afraid of? Nowhere in this hell of Avicenaraka mystic realm is safe. Let's enter the land of inheritance first to obtain the inheritance and increase our skills. When those people come, well, kill all of them. Won't that feel nice? The Blood Moon Elder egged her on. As an elder of Blood Moon sect, the #1 evil sect in this mainland, he naturally did not like those from the so-called righteous path and wished he could kill all of them. Go! Yi Qingtang did not say anything else and entered the evil spirit's realm immediately with the Blood Moon Elder. What laid ahead of them was a patch of blood red. There was lots of mist inside, and the visibility was only several meters. Careful! The evil spirit's realm is the scariest place in the hell of Avicenaraka mystic realm, the little white tiger suddenly said. After hearing that, Yi Qingtang frowned slightly. She clearly remembered that this was not what the little white tiger told her initially. Be careful, Holy Lady. There is definitely something odd about this place. The Blood Moon Elder said. I'm not blind. Yi Qingtang shot a look at the Blood Moon Elder. The smell of blood at the place was so intense, and there were evil spirits everyone. Anyone would have felt that there was something odd about this place. Currently, Yi Qingtang had already returned to her female appearance. Her identity was already revealed by the black-robed person, and there was no point to continue disguising herself. Before long, there were sounds of battle from ahead. The Blood Moon Elder and Yi Qingtang walked forward in large strides, wanting to know what happened. However, after walking a few steps, a shadow crashed on the Blood Moon Elder instantly. "It's you." The Blood Moon Elder was a little shocked to see the pale young man in front of him. This young boy was the person whose body he wanted to possess back then. However, he was ultimately saved by Yi Qingtang, and the Blood Moon Elder did not get his way. Looking at the body of this young boy and then at his current body, the Blood Moon Elder realized that he still wished to be a child. "Shen Qingyu?" Yi Qingtang was shocked when she saw the young boy. "You are." When Shen Qingyu looked at Yi Qingtang, his pale face was suddenly agitated. "You are, Sister Qingtang." It had been long since she saw Shen Qingyu, and he had grown taller. "What happened?" Yi Qingtang asked. "Sister Qingtang. I followed my sect to this mystic realm. Everyone was dispersed, so some senior brothers and sisters and I are looking around for the sect's elders. However, we entered here by accident. More than half of my senior brothers and sisters have died." Shen Qingyu's eyes were slightly foggy. Although Shen Qingyu was not old, as a super genius of Wind Moon sect who had been specially trained by the sect, he had entered many mystic realms before. However, it was the first time he entered a 100-level peril mystic realm. He never knew that a mystic realm could be this scary. Before Yi Qingtang could say anything again, when they stepped on the ground, a few decomposed hands that were leaking with blood suddenly stretched out from the ground. "Arr!" Shen Qingyu screamed in shock as both his legs were grabbed. A massive force pulled Shen Qingyu downwards. "Sister Qingtang. Save me!" Horror and anxiety filled Shen Qingyu's face. Many of his senior brothers and sisters were pulled into the ground by these ghost hands. Clank! With a crisp sound, the demonic blood sword appeared in Yi Qingtang's hand, and a blood-colored sword glint appeared with a wave. Swoosh! The ghost hand that grabbed Shen Qingyu was chopped by the sword glint. As though it felt pain, the pair of decomposed hands released its grip slightly, and Yi Qingtang took this opportunity to pull the panic-stricken young boy over. "Holy Lady, let it come at me." Suddenly, the Blood Moon Elder's eyes flickered, and a black fog emerged at his glabella. In the next second, those ghost hands turned into blood water rapidly and were rapidly absorbed by the black mist at the Blood Moon Elder's glabella. "Ha ha ha. The demonic techniques that this lady cultivated are pretty good." The Blood Moon Elder was glowing with health and was extremely satisfied. Ouyang Qian's demonic techniques could absorb the spirits of the dead to increase her skills, which currently benefited the Blood Moon Elder. After absorbing all the spirits of the dead, the Blood Moon Elder's skills increased further and faintly had a trace of breaking through to second heaven of martial qi level 2. However, I can feel that there is an even stronger presence here. The deeper we go, the more dangerous it is. The Blood Moon Elder had a serious expression. Yi Qingtang could not help but be in deep thought. Fuck. Scared me to death. The little white tiger crawled into Yi Qingtang's arms. The little white tiger hid in Yi Qingtang's arms and only revealed a pair of eyes which scanned the surroundings. They must have felt that the demonic powers in my body disappeared and that I returned to my infant form. That must be why they want to eat me, the little white tiger said. Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder exchanged a look. Is this little white tiger's brain bad? What has this got to do with it? The evil spirits in their surroundings struck fear in hearts. The ghost hands from the ground swayed. There was fog ahead of them, and it was as though something even scarier than this was hidden in it. Let's leave. Yi Qingtang grabbed Shen Qingyu and left the place. Find authorized novels in Webnovel Faster Updates, better experience. Please click for visiting. Miserable shrills and cries for help rang in the evil spirit's realm every now and then. After hearing that, Shen Qingyu had an anxious and worried expression. Those are my senior brothers and sisters. His eyes started to fog up. Over the past few days, if not for the protection of his senior brothers and sisters, perhaps he would have already died here. Yi Qingtang was sympathetic but powerless to help. The visibility in the evil spirit's realm was merely several meters, and there were all sorts of unknown dangers inside. Yi Qingtang did not have any special relationship with the Wind Moon sect and naturally would not risk her life to go and rescue them. Sister Qingtang, just now the illusion of that black-robed person revealed your identity and location. Shen Qingyu looked at Yi Qingtang and reminded. It's fine. Yi Qingtang smiled gently at Shen Qingyu. This young boy knows our location. Let me eat him. Suddenly, the little white tiger peeked its head out from Yi Qingtang's arms and locked its eyes on Shen Qingyu. Eat it? The Blood Moon Elder was taken aback. Why would you eat it? That's too wasteful. Holy Lady, instead of letting it eat him, why don't you give this young boy's body to me? While the Blood Moon Elder's current body was pretty good, he was rather uncomfortable every time he thought that he had become a lady. This young boy's current skills did not make the cut, but he had a deep potential. Most importantly, he was male at least. Shen Qingyu looked at the little white tiger and the Blood Moon Elder in panic. His body trembled, and he could not help but squeeze Yi Qingtang tightly. Yi Qingtang shot a look at the little white tiger and the Blood Moon Elder immediately. There was probably something wrong with the brains of both the man and the tiger. The Blood Moon Elder originally wanted to say something more but was stopped by Yi Qingtang's glare. Young boy from the human clan, let me ask you. Did you guard here to block me intentionally? You must want to eat my flesh. Fuck you. The little white tiger glared at Shen Qingyu. After hearing that, Shen Qingyu waved his hands immediately. No, no. You're mistaken. Ignore them. Yi Qingtang told Shen Qingyu. After saying that, Yi Qingtang looked behind. Several strong martial auras were already extremely close to them. In no time, they would arrive at this evil spirit's realm. Qingyu, is that you? Suddenly, several young men and women appeared behind and looked at the young boy beside Yi Qingtang with a frown. Senior brother Li, senior sister Yu heir. Shen Qingyu shouted immediately when he saw those few sect disciples. Go meet your senior brothers and sisters. Not long later, powerful figures will come here. By then, you all will be safe. Yi Qingtang smiled at Shen Qingyu. But, what about you, Sister Qingtang? Shen Qingyu tugged on Yi Qingtang's sleeves, seeming to be a little unwilling to part. I still have matters to settle. You must live on. When you leave the hell of Avicenaraka mystic realm, you'll still meet me again in the future. Yi Qingtang patted Shen Qingyu's head. Sister Qingtang, you must be extremely careful. The black-robed person divulged your information, and you have the fiend celestial beast with you. Many powerful figures from the super sects will definitely not let you off easily. Shen Qingyu said. At that instant, Yi Qingtang naturally knew about the situation without Shen Qingyu's reminder. Go ahead. Yi Qingtang smiled and pushed Shen Qingyu forward gently. When Shen Qingyu looked back, he realized that Yi Qingtang had already disappeared. Junior brother Qingyu, was that lady previously Yi Qingtang? A Wind Moon sect disciple looked at Shen Qingyu and asked. Amichum. Shen Qingyu nodded. It actually is her. The few Wind Moon sect disciples had a shocked expression. Sister Qingtang saved me just now. If not for Sister Qingtang, I would already be dead. Shen Qingyu said in fear. Remember, we must keep our lips tight. We must not say that we saw Yi Qingtang before. The Wind Moon sect disciple in the lead spoke. They originally had no grudges against Yi Qingtang and did not wish to obtain the fiend celestial beast from her either. Instead, ordinary sect disciples like them respected Yi Qingtang deeply. She dared to revolt against the super sects, once infuriated Yunshao's sect, and was eventually listed in the assassination roll, of which her reward surpassed that of the number one on the assassination roll. Yi Qingtang is truly an extraordinary girl. A Wind Moon sect disciple could not help but exclaim. Xianling's sect was almost annihilated, but she could appear outside completely unharmed and use her own method to seek revenge for Xianling's sect. Currently, she has already entered the second heaven of martial qi level 3, Sister Qing Tang is really very powerful. Shen Qingyu nodded in agreement. As they spoke, the first batch of powerful figures in the Hell of Avicenaraka mystic realm finally arrived at the evil spirit's realm. Dozens of powerful martial auras enshrouded the area. At that instant, Yi Qing Tang had already brought the Blood Moon Elder and the little white tiger and left far away. According to the direction that little white tiger pointed in, Yi Qing Tang almost avoided the most dangerous areas in the evil spirit's aura and walked straight to the land of inheritance. Fuck. I feel the aura of those human cultivators. They must be here to catch me. The little white tiger was unknowingly nervous. Its eyes darted around as though it was a thief as it scanned the surroundings. This time, Yi Qing Tang and the Blood Moon Elder did not retort that statement since there were indeed many cultivators who harbored thoughts for the fiend celestial beast. Their objective of rushing here was partly for the little white tiger. You must protect me well. The little white tiger looked at Yi Qing Tang. Yi Qing Tang was speechless and shot the little white tiger a look. Who was the fiend celestial beast here? After seeing Yi Qing Tang's expression, the little white tiger said proudly, "Isn't this all because of you? If the heart inside your body hadn't snatched away all my powers, would I still be scared of those useless humans?" Yi Qing Tang sighed. She could have signed a contract with a fake fiend celestial beast. Currently, she had to protect it everywhere instead. If this was told to the world, no one could probably believe it. Before long, an exceedingly tall pagoda which seemed to have pierced into the sky stood ahead. What is that? Curious, the Blood Moon Elder rushed forward to take a look. Engulfing heretic skill. You are from the Blood Moon sect? A Yuehua sect disciple could not believe the situation happening in front of them. He remained confused until he was completely engulfed. The few black rays returned to the Blood Moon Elder's body after a short while. A batch of trash, the Blood Moon Elder sneered. The Blood Moon Elder's ability had entered the peak stage of the first heaven of the martial qi level 3. He was able to reuse some of the heretic skills. He was confident that he could kill people of the second heaven of martial qi level 3 as well. Fuck. How dare you to consume them alone? At least leave one for me. The white tiger protested against the Blood Moon Elder. Chapter 637, Inner Pagoda, Don't bullshit anymore. Let's enter the land of inheritance first. Yi Qing Tang frowned. The leading team had found her, and there would be more powerful people from the super sects that would find their way here. They could not stay at this place for long. Yi Qing Tang led the Blood Moon Elder and entered the giant pagoda in front of them. This place is, the Blood Moon Elder opened his eyes after a while and scanned around. He was slightly shocked. The scene inside the pagoda was out of their expectations. There was a small world inside. This was an ice field with a piercingly cold wind. There were stretches of icy mountains and glaciers. It was just a giant pagoda from the outside, but when they entered the pagoda, it was a boundless small world. This should be the first level. The white tiger stretched out its head from Yi Qing Tang's arm. It swung its head and sized up the surroundings. There were 3 levels in the giant pagoda, and there was weird energy turbulence on the 3rd level. Holy Lady, there are definitely treasures on the 3rd level. Let's rush to the 3rd level and take that treasure, the Blood Moon Elder said and smiled. How do we go to the 3rd level? Yi Qing Tang did not bother about the Blood Moon Elder and looked towards the white tiger instead. The white tiger was stunned and then said, How will I know? How many times do I need to tell you that I have never entered the land of inheritance here? For real? Yi Qing Tang did not totally believe it. Fuck you, why would lie to you? The white tiger humphed. Yi Qing Tang could only believe its words and scan through the surroundings. Soon, she discovered that there was a staircase a few kilometers away. The staircase was formed by ice and floating in mid-air, pointing towards the sky. That should be the path to the second level, Yi Qingtang was in thought. Yi Qingtang did not rush to the staircase. This place was full of danger, and she did not want to move around without caution. Within half a day when Yi Qingtang was observing the first level, there were at least 1,000 people who entered the land of inheritance. Yi Qingtang hid in a cave and observed the situation for the whole day. The first level of the pagoda was really like a small world. Nothing changed even after a few thousand people entered the place. As the White Tiger had said, this place was really a land of inheritance. Many people had found rare treasures and even some long-lost skills on the first level. Of course, the greater the destiny, the higher the risks. Within a day, there were more than 10 people who had died on the first level. Yi Qingtang frowned deeply in the cave. From her one-day observations, the bodies of people who died fighting for the places of inheritance turned into blood and flew into the third level. Yi Qingtang was sure that there must be a huge conspiracy on the third level of the land of inheritance. However, she could not figure out what the conspiracy was about now. The next day morning, Yi Qingtang kicked the Blood Moon Elder, who was guarding outside the cave. "How dare you!" The Blood Moon Elder opened his eyes suddenly and shouted in anger. However, he was stunned when he saw Yi Qingtang standing behind him. "FCKU, how dare you to sleep when you're asked to guard the cave?" The White Tiger peeked its head out and looked at the Blood Moon Elder. The Blood Moon Elder muttered, "How is it any of your business?" Chapter 638, Blood Incantation Array Formation. Haha, Holy Lady, I did not fall asleep. I was just resting with my eyes closed, the Blood Moon Elder said and smiled. Yi Qingtang did not bother to reply to him. She frowned and pointed towards the bottom of the cliff. The Blood Moon Elder looked towards the direction she pointed at, and surprise emerged in his eyes. There were many fierce beasts appearing on the first level. There were blood-red giant mice that were a few meters tall and giant flying ants that seemed to be made from iron. A few special plants that grew in the ice also seemed to begin their attacks. There was a team of 10 super sect disciples who were defending themselves under the cliff. However, they were bitten to death by the giant mice after a short while. "What's going on?" The Blood Moon Elder was shocked. Everything in the land of inheritance changed over the night, and so many unknown creatures appeared. It seems like my predictions are correct. Yi Qingtang frowned deeply and murmured. Yi Qingtang felt that it was peculiar when the mysterious black-robed man revealed her location earlier. He purposely mentioned that she was heading towards the land of inheritance. Yi Qingtang suspected earlier that not only did the black-robed man target her, but he was also targeting everyone here. It seemed that he intended to attract everyone into the land of inheritance here. Yi Qingtang was more sure that there was something on the third level that required cultivators' blood to nurture, as the blood of the cultivators flew up and disappeared constantly. Is it possible that the black-robed man wants to use our blood to nurture something on the third level? That's why he started the 100-level peril hell of Avicenaraka and attracted everyone here. Yi Qingtang looked towards upwards. Fuck, these creatures must be able to sense my presence as the fiend celestial beast. That's why they appeared. They want to eat my meat and drink my blood. The White Tiger sized up the unknown creatures that clustered at the bottom. Its eyes were full of nervousness. Can you stop being so narcissistic? Their appearance is to kill the cultivators who entered this place. How are they linked to you? The Blood Moon Elder looked at the White Tiger and mocked. Before the White Tiger could say anything, the image of the black-robed man appeared in mid-air again. Guys, there are only a few days left till the closure of the Hell of Avicenaraka. Thus, I want to play a game with you. The black-robed man's voice diffused through everywhere and traveled into everyone's ears. The few thousand people who were scattered around all looked up instinctively as they heard the black-robed man's voice. The land of inheritance here is just a place of death. It's easy to enter but not so easy to leave. Then, I'll set a rule for this game. There's only one of you here who can walk out of the land of inheritance and the hell of Avicenaraka alive. If no one meets my requirement within 5 days, I will turn on the blood incantation array formation and kill everyone here. You will decide your own fate now. The black-robed man's image disappeared slowly as he finished his words. Who are you? Only one person can leave alive. You want us to kill each other? What a vicious bastard. Do you dare to reveal your true identity? How dare you to play with our destiny? Some super sect figures shouted in rage towards the sky. However, there was no reply from the black-robed man. Yi Qingtang pondered at the top of the cliff. The black-robed man's intentions were very clear. He wanted everyone to enter the land of inheritance and kill each other. However, whether there was the blood incantation array formation that the black-robed man mentioned was still unknown. Maybe it was just to scare people. Holy Lady. I can sense that there is really the blood incantation array formation under the ground. Human's blood incantation array formation. It can only be refined by an array master. It is full of hatred energy from the blood incantation. Once it is turned on, everyone in the land of inheritance will die. It was rare that the white tiger analyzed the situation seriously. Fuck. Blood incantation array formation. No, I'm still young. I don't want to die. At the end of its analysis, its face suddenly changed. Yi Qingtang looked upwards and pondered. The black-robed man should be on the 3rd level, Yi Qingtang said. Holy Lady, how do you know that? The Blood Moon Elder was confused. It's easy. The land of inheritance here is separated from the outside world and forms its own world. Voices from outside cannot travel here. Thus, the black-robed man must be inside the land of inheritance. The 1st level has been occupied by the unknown ferocious creatures now, and the 3rd level has weird energy turbulence. If I were the black-robed man, as an audience, I will definitely watch the show from the 3rd level and wait for the blood of the cultivators to nurture the thing in the 3rd level. After hearing Yi Qingtang's words, the Blood Moon Elder held his fists together and said, That's brilliant, Holy Lady. Actually, that's what I thought as well. Yi Qingtang looked towards the bottom of the cliff. Many people from the super sects did not seem to treat the black-robed man's words seriously. It seemed that they did not believe that there would be the blood incantation array formation under the land of inheritance. Find authorized novels in web novel faster updates, better experience please click for visiting. 5 days. We do not have much time left. I need to find a way to enter the 3rd level. Yi Qingtang considered internally. Yi Qingtang was not sure of the black-robed man's ability, but she had some predictions. If the black-robed man was strong enough, why would he plan such a conspiracy? He could just kill everyone here to save the hassle. Before they entered the mysterious palace, the aura that the black-robed man showed should be at the early stage of Yin-Yang perfected lord. Based on her 2nd heaven of martial chi level 3 cultivation, it would be nearly impossible to win. Even if she used all her strength, she could not defeat a person at the early stage of the Yin-Yang perfected lord. However, if she could suppress the black-robed man, all the dangers would disappear. Yi Qingtang was not in a hurry even though there were only 5 days left. Her intention of entering the land of inheritance was to acquire the inheritance of martial chi to increase her abilities. If she could encounter some destinies, she would be able to break through the 3rd heaven of martial chi level 3 within a short period of time. Roar! A horrifying roar suddenly came from a nearby place. There were 7 to 8 young people fleeing towards the cliff in shock. From their clothes, the young people were not from the formidable Heavens dynasty but the Nine Knights dynasty. Yi Qingtang scanned through her surroundings. The cliff was surrounded by those flying giant ants, and there were 10 more giant mice running towards her direction. Chapter 640, Besiege, 1. There were more and more ferocious beasts surrounding the cliff, leaving no gaps at all. The few people fled in a hurry, and some of them were injured. Blood spurted out from their wounds and splashed onto the ground. Arr har har. Stupid humans. They still want to murder me at this point in time. The white tiger stared at the people who were running towards it and shouted. Yi Qingtang took a glimpse at the narcissistic white tiger but did not bother to reply to it. Some of the Nine Knights dynasty people were injured, and the smell of blood further agitated the ferocious beasts around. As they rushed towards the cliff, the giant ants and the mice also followed. This was the real hell. No matter what their identities were outside the hell of Avicenaraka, once they stepped into the land of inheritance, they were a step away from death. The Blood Moon Elder's face was slightly pale. When he saw those people attracting the ferocious beasts onto the cliff, he felt his brain buzz, and he wanted to kick those idiots down the cliff. However, everything was too late. Holy, the Blood Moon Elder was about to say something to Yi Qingtang, but her expression suddenly became very fierce. She pulled out the demonic blood sword by her waist and rushed towards the group of people. Those few people were totally terrified by the giant ants in the sky and the giant mice chasing constantly. They could not even defend themselves against the attacks of these ferocious beasts when they were busy escaping. Everyone's hearts were in their throats as they saw a giant mouse which was just behind them rushing towards them with its body that was a few meters tall. Were they going to die here today? However, when they were immersed by desperation, a tiny figure suddenly swiped through their vision. Along with the figure, a glint chopped down towards the giant mouse. The giant mouse shrieked instantly. A large amount of blood appeared on its grim face. Its nose was chopped off, and blood splashed out like raindrops. As the blood splashed, the skinny figure landed. Those who were terrified now froze on the ground. Now, they noticed that there was a beautiful lady standing under the rain of blood. Drops of blood landed on that pretty face. Holy lady. The Blood Moon Elder intended to discuss a plan to escape with Yi Qingtang. However, Yi Qingtang saved these people. How come he did not know that his holy lady was so kind? Yi Qingtang did not say anything. She swung her demonic blood sword to remove the blood. She took a leap and landed in front of those people when the giant mouse was groaning. Pick up your weapon if you don't want to die. Yi Qingtang left a sentence coldly and jumped upwards to kill a giant flying ant dashing towards them. Those who were in shock previously finally regained their consciousness. They were terrified by the danger in the land of inheritance and were shocked by those giant ferocious beasts. How could they use their full strength to fight on? Chapter 641, Besiege, 2, They were suddenly awoken by Yi Qingtang's words. How could they escape from these ferocious beasts when they were trapped on the first level of the land of inheritance? Running away because of fear would only lead them to death. If they tried their best to fight, there might be a chance to survive. They wiped off the blood on their faces immediately and tried to calm down as they held their swords tightly. Yi Qingtang had killed a few flying ants at the same time. She took a glimpse at the Blood Moon Elder who froze on the ground. She frowned and landed beside the Blood Moon Elder. What are you doing? Do you really want to be their food? The Blood Moon Elder then realized what was going on. His eyes were filled with astonishment. Holy lady, why did you save them just now? Yi Qingtang stared at him. Is this guy really an idiot? When did I save them? I was saving myself. She explained. The Blood Moon Elder was confused. The ferocious beasts here will kill all humans here. If they died just now, we would be the next one they besiege. It adds a chance for us if they can kill one more beast. She was not kind enough to save others under such a situation. Holy lady, that's brilliant. The Blood Moon Elder then understood the situation. He pulled his sword out to join the fight immediately without any hesitation. More and more ferocious beasts gathered at the cliff. Numerous giant ants covered up the sky like the dark clouds. Yi Qingtang's shadow flicked around on the cliff. She waved her demonic blood sword constantly and, together with the Blood Moon Elder, killed many giant ants dashing towards them. As more and more corpses of giant ants dropped onto the cliff, the white tiger who was left alone at the side stared at the corpses of the giant ants. Creatures like you also dream to eat my flesh. Yi Qingtang was busy fighting the ferocious beasts when she heard the white tiger's shameless clamor. Her lips shivered, and she glanced at the white tiger. However, the scene that she saw next stunned her. The white tiger who was standing on top of the corpses of the giant ants suddenly roared softly towards the sky, and at the next second, it opened its little mouth towards the corpses under its feet and showed its little sharp teeth. The moment it opened its mouth, the corpse of the giant ant under its claws seemed to be attracted by a strong force and turned into a black shadow, traveling into the white tiger's mouth. The giant ant, which was a few meters long, was swallowed by the little white tiger entirely. Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder witnessed the shocking scene. If they did not see it with their own eyes, they would never believe that this little white tiger would be able to swallow the giant ant at one shot. However, that did not bother the white tiger at all. It smacked its lips, and it did not seem to be satisfied. Fuck you. I will eat all of you here. The white tiger opened its mouth again and absorbed the corpses of the giant ants. Chapter 642, Besiege, 3, It's eating the corpses. The Blood Moon Elder felt disgusted as the ferocious beasts were extremely ugly. The white tiger was still able to eat the disgusting corpses. Yi Qingtang realized what was going on. Her eyes squinted as she stared at the white tiger who was eating the corpses continuously. She could clearly sense that the white tiger was regaining some sort of aura. The aura was similar to the one it had when she first met it. That aura belonged to the fiend celestial beast, but it was much weaker than when they first met. However, as the white tiger swallowed more corpses, the aura was getting more intense. I understand, Yi Qingtang suddenly said. What did you understand? The Blood Moon Elder stunned. Yi Qingtang did not say anything. She flicked her wrist and chopped off one giant ant's head. She stamped the ground and kicked the giant ant's headless corpse towards the white tiger. The white tiger just finished eating the corpses around it and saw a black shadow falling from the sky. Its body suddenly tensed. Along with a boom, a headless giant ant's corpses landed in front of its claws. Fuck you. The white tiger roared towards the Yi Qingtang who ambushed it. Don't bullshit. Eat now. Yi Qingtang said coldly. She finally understood that the fiend celestial beast could acquire energy from swallowing the corpses of these ferocious beasts. This was how the white tiger had obtained its giant body in the first place. The fiend celestial beast must encounter many ferocious beasts in the hell of Avicenaraka and absorb the demonic aura from the corpses to strengthen itself. That was how it transformed from its infant body and obtained the giant body. The demonic aura on the fiend celestial beast was all absorbed by the heart of the demon god in her body. That was the reason why it returned to its original form. However, if this method worked, it would allow the white tiger to swallow more corpses of the ferocious beasts. When the energy swallowed accumulated to a certain level, it might be able to be stronger again. Though it was a makeshift solution, Yi Qingtang had to grasp the chance. Under the attack of so many ferocious beasts, it would be extremely difficult to escape. If the white tiger could turn into the fiend celestial beast again, the chances of escaping would be much higher. The white tiger's whiskers shivered as Yi Qingtang shouted at it. Fuck you. How dare you command me? However, when it finished saying its words, the white tiger opened its mouth without any hesitation and absorbed the new corpse of the giant ant. The Blood Moon Elder saw the scene happening in front of him and understood Yi Qingtang's intentions. He did not have any chance to talk anymore. He used Yi Qingtang's method and kicked all the corpses of the ferocious beasts he killed towards the white tiger so that it could acquire more energy in a short period of time. The two people and one beast were now cooperating with each other on the cliff. The people who regained their fighting spirit earlier by Qingtang were still eventually torn into pieces by the giant mice as they were not strong enough to last for long. Without their hindrance, the giant mice rushed towards the cliff. Chapter 643, Demonic Force, 1. In at most 10 breaths' time, Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder were encircled by the blood-colored giant rats. The Blood Moon Elder could not help but shudder at the sight. Looking at the blood-red rats in their surroundings, he counted at least dozens of them. It would be fine if there were merely fierce beasts on the land. However, there were still numerous, densely packed flying ants in the sky. At this instant, Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder had no means of escaping. Apart from thinking of a way to kill the blood rat and flying ants, there was no other way out. Holy Lady, I'll cover you. You can escape first. After killing a blood mouse, the Blood Moon Elder told Qingtang. However, there was no reaction from Qingtang. After a moment, Qingtang finally spoke. Leave with me. Then, Qingtang grabbed the little white tiger which was still chewing happily and raced towards the cave ahead. The Blood Moon Elder was stunned seeing that Qingtang actually had run back into the cave they were previously hiding in. There was only one exit for that cave, and it did not lead to anywhere. Why did Qingtang not go to make a run for it instead of searching for a dead end? However, the current Blood Moon Elder did not have time to overthink and followed behind Qingtang instinctively. Holy Lady, if we hide in this cave, won't we be like turtles in a jar that will certainly be caught? This is a dead end, the Blood Moon Elder said immediately as he looked at the unhurried Qingtang. Why are you so anxious? Qingtang asked calmly. Why am I so anxious? The Blood Moon Elder looked out from the cave. Currently, those blood mice had already swarmed up, which meant that they were trapped in the cave. Wasn't this courting death? Holy Lady, those fierce beasts are here. After a moment, the Blood Moon Elder was on guard for all possible dangers. Although he wanted to leave this cave, Qingtang had not said anything, and he did not dare to leave. As he saw that the blood rats closed in on them like the tide, the Blood Moon Elder's forehead was dripping with cold sweat. However, at this instant, boom, boom, a loud sound erupted. All they saw was a blood rat charging into the cave instantly. It was, however, that the size of the cave entrance was limited, and the blood rat's body was too huge. Thus, only its upper body was able to fit through the entrance while its lower body was stuck outside the cave. Although dozens of blood rats and flying ants surged toward them, they were all stuck outside the cave as they let out frightening cries. Roar! The blood rat which had its upper body stuck in the cave glared at Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder with eyes that invoked fear. This can also work. The Blood Moon Elder was shocked. The situation earlier on was urgent, and he could not think calmly. Yet, Qingtang could still remain calm at this stage and even analyze that the beasts were too big to fit inside the cave. Fuck you. How dare you pieces of trash think of killing me? Wagging its tail, the little white tiger strutted to the front of the blood rat and sized it up. Roar! The blood rat glared at the little white tiger fiercely while shouting. Its tiny paws scratched on the ground continuously, seeming to want to tear the little white tiger into pieces. Someone kill it. I have not eaten my fill. The little white tiger turned around to look at the Blood Moon Elder. Get lost. The Blood Moon Elder scoffed. Fuck you. I signed an equality contract with your holy lady. You listen to her but dare not to listen to mine. Do you wish to die? The little white tiger laughed coldly. You. The Blood Moon Elder pointed at the little white tiger. Before he could say anything though, a blood-colored sword shadow appeared behind him. Chapter 644, Demonic Force, 2, Boom. With a loud sound, the sword shadow chopped the blood rat's head off instantly. The little white tiger ran forward immediately, and in just a few moments, the entire blood rat was eaten up cleanly. As the blood rat stuck at the cave entrance was eaten, more blood rats and flying ants surged in. Yi Qingtang did the same thing, and in just half a day, all of the blood rats and flying ants were killed. As for the carcasses, they were naturally consumed by the little white tiger. How exactly did your stomach do it? The Blood Moon Elder commented as he eyed the little white tiger's stomach. A giant rat weighed at least several hundred pounds, but the fiend celestial beast finished one in a mouth. It was truly an eye-opening sight that caused one to gasp in astonishment. What does this young lady know? I still can eat another 10 times the amount, the little white tiger said nonchalantly. Fiend celestial beasts like them could turn food into energy. To fiend celestial beasts, the amount and size of food did not matter. When can you become like when I first met you? Yi Qingtang asked as she looked at the little white tiger. If the little white tiger returned to its initial form, they would definitely be able to move around the hell of a Visanaraka mystic realm as they wished. Almost. The little white tiger sat on the ground and told Yi Qingtang. However, the demonic force I stored is still not a lot. Even if I can return to my previous size, it will not be sustained for long. How long can you hold it for? Yi Qingtang asked. At most 10 minutes. The little white tiger replied. 10 minutes. Yi Qingtang said thoughtfully. To Yi Qingtang, a mere 10 minutes was simply not enough. However, I can smell that those giant rats and flying ants from earlier on should be influenced by some demonic air. I can smell the exact location of that demonic air. If I can swallow that demonic air, the duration can be extended. There was a rare look of seriousness on the little white tiger's face. You really have a dog's nose. The Blood Moon Elder could not help but say. Rubbish, the little white tiger said proudly. My nose is better than a dog's. The Blood Moon Elder nodded repeatedly. Amichum. That's about what I mean. Lead the way, Yi Qingtang said. Yi Qingtang frowned slightly. There was not much time left, and they had to head to the 3rd floor to find the black-robed person before the blood curse array formation started. Very quickly, the little white tiger brought Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder out of the cave. Currently, there were more and more fierce beasts on the 1st level, and almost half of the cultivators had died there. After they died, their bodies turned into blood water and surged into the air. The energy turbulence in the 3rd level is getting increasingly stronger, Yi Qingtang pondered quietly. Although she did not know what was being raised in the 3rd level, one did not need to think much to know that it was definitely not a good thing. Already, there was not much time remaining. Yi Qingtang could not help but quicken her footsteps at the thought of that. There was quite a number of fierce beasts that attacked Yi Qingtang on the road, but they were all slaughtered by Yi Qingtang's demonic blood sword. Presently, Yi Qingtang's martial cultivation was already close to the 3rd heaven of martial qi level 3, and she naturally did not fear them. About 2 days later, Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder finally arrived near an icy lake under the little white tiger's guidance. This place was a mountain valley that had been sealed by ice long ago, and ahead of them was a frozen island lake. There was a large black ball above the island lake with black fog lingering around the black ball. Chapter 645, Demonic Force, 3, It Should Be That Thing. The little white tiger's eyes landed on that black ball. So that's the case. Yi Qingtang narrowed her eyes in thought. The demonic force in that black ball was tremendous. The ordinary fierce beasts nearby had long been infected by the demonic air. This was probably what caused the anomaly to happen. Roar! A loud sound came from nearby. Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder looked in the direction of the sound, but the sight dumbfounded them. A huge, black tiger whose body seemed to be dyed in ink slowly walked out from behind the black ball. That black tiger's body was unusually gigantic. It was at least over 10 meters tall and was enough to cover the sky. Fuck! The little white tiger's expression changed drastically after seeing that black tiger. It must have sensed my noble aura and wants to consume my flesh. Yi Qingtang was a little helpless after hearing the little white tiger. That huge, black tiger was evidently influenced by the demonic air of the black ball, causing it to change. In Yi Qingtang's opinion, the black tiger was probably an ordinary beast prior to this. Third heaven of Martial Qi Level 3. No. Half-step Yin-Yang Perfected Lord. The Blood Moon Elder shuddered when he saw the extremely huge tiger before them. Half-step Yin-Yang Perfected Lord. This state was higher than the peak of the third heaven of Martial Qi Level 3. It was equivalent to having one foot stepped into the Yin-Yang Perfected Lord state. Yet, people at that level were not a true Yin-Yang Perfected Lord, thus, it was called half-step Yin-Yang Perfected Lord. Despite so, it was not to be trifled with. Run! The Blood Moon Elder shouted loudly. Given their current skills, there was no way they could retaliate when they encountered a half-step Yin-Yang Perfected Lord. Roar! As the black tiger roared, demonic air gushed out of its mouth. Then, its limbs moved, and it walked toward Yi Qingtang and the rest. This is bad. The Blood Moon Elder retreated backward instinctively. Presently, the Blood Moon Elder had not reached the second heaven of Martial Qi Level 3 yet, and the black tiger, which was a half-step Yin-Yang Perfected Lord, could rip him into pieces with just a claw. The black tiger moved gradually as it sized up Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder, interestingly, as though these two humans were already rations in his stomach. Yi Qingtang had a serious look. Given her current skills, she might not be able to defeat this black tiger either. Then, the black tiger walked to the little white tiger, lowered its head immediately, and roared loudly. A demonic wind rushed out of its mouth, and the little white tiger's appearance resembled that of a lonely boat in a vast ocean. Fuck you! As though it had received an extremely huge insult, the little white tiger roared furiously. In the next second, the little white tiger's body extended several meters and returned to the appearance it had when Yi Qingtang saw it for the first time. The black tiger was stunned to see the little white tiger's change. However, just at this moment, the little white tiger leaped up and clawed at it. Hiss! The little white tiger leaped over 10 meters and plucked out a big chunk of flesh from the black tiger's abdomen immediately. Right on the heels of that, the little white tiger bit the black tiger's neck. In an instant, large amounts of blood surged from the black tiger's neck and dyed the icy lake into a shade of scarlet. In at most 10 breaths' time, the black tiger, which had a combat power of a half-step Yin-Yang Perfected Lord stage, however, had its throat ripped apart by the little white tiger and died. Subsequently, the little white tiger opened its mouth wide and swallowed the black tiger's body. How dare you useless trash insult me? Fuck you. The little white tiger scoffed coldly as its body returned back to its infant form once again. As the little white tiger spoke, its body transformed to its infant form once again and was no longer as imposing looking as before. Yi Qingtang was slightly taken aback to see it and asked the little white tiger in curiosity, "Why did you change back again?" The little white tiger stared at Yi Qingtang with pride all over its face. I only need 10 or so breaths to settle this piece of trash. Do I need to waste the stored energy in my body just for this piece of trash? Yi Qingtang was in thought and asked subsequently, you mean that you can control the amount of time that you turn big? Not always. The little white tiger shook his head. It's dependent on luck. If the energy is stored fully, it cannot be controlled, and I will always be in the enlarged form until the energy is completely depleted. However, if the stored energy is insufficient, it can be controlled. The Blood Moon Elder chipped in. Holy Lady, with the skills of this brute's enlarged form, we could probably be unrivaled in this hell of a Visanaraka mystic realm. If we let it absorb more energy, we don't need to be worried about our lives anymore. Before Yi Qingtang could reply, the little tiger strutted to the Blood Moon Elder while wagging its tail and asked in a haughty manner, "Fuck you, lowly chap. Who are you calling a brute? Do you believe you'll be the first I kill? Kill me. The Blood Moon Elder was about to say something nasty, but on another thought, the fiend celestial beast only took 10 or so breaths to enlarge, and there was probably quite some amount of energy left in its body that could sustain an enlargement again. Immediately, he piled smiles on his face and said, Lord Fiend Celestial Beast is mighty and powerful. A great man rarely stoops to pettiness or harbors grievance for past wrongs. I accidentally spoke nonsense earlier on. You are noble, supreme, and on an equal footing as Holy Lady. You will definitely not lower yourself to the same level as me. After hearing that, the little white tiger nodded. Very well said. I have such a noble identity. How would I lower myself to the same level as you? However, pay attention to your attitude the next time you speak to me. Otherwise, I will take your lowly life if you make me unhappy. Yes, yes, yes. You are right. I will definitely pay more attention from now on. The Blood Moon Elder smiled as he nodded successively. Fuck you. Just you wait. Once the energy in your body is used up, watch how I will settle you. While the Blood Moon Elder was full of smiles, he pondered secretly. As said, discretion was the better part of valor. One had to know when to hold in and when to fold. The current little white tiger could transform into the enlarged form anytime, and he would only be a fool to offend it. Even that mutated beast whose combat power was similar to a half-step yin-yang perfected lord was killed by it in just 10 or so breaths. Ha ha ha, noble fiend celestial beast, what is this hell of a Visinaraka mystic realm with you around? Even when we follow behind you, we will also be unrivaled and have nothing to fear. The Blood Moon Elder grinned. After hearing that, the little white tiger had an even prouder expression, and its tail curled up towards the sky. Yi Qingtang was extremely helpless. However, she finally understood how exactly the Blood Moon Elder achieved his position as an elder of the Blood Moon sect. If one said he was a bootlicker, no one would not believe it. Little thing, you like to speak the truth very much, and I admire you a lot. Rest assured. My identity is so noble and skills so powerful. If you follow behind me, I can guarantee that no one would dare to stop you even if you act in a tyrannous manner in this hell of a Visinaraka mystic realm. The little white tiger was very pleased by the Blood Moon Elder's bootlicking. Heh. It is my blessing to be able to follow behind you. The Blood Moon Elder nodded repeatedly. Before waiting for the little white tiger to continue saying anything, Yi Qingtang interrupted them impatiently and carried the little white tiger in her arms. She flew above the icy lake and walked towards the black ball that floated in the air. Eat. Yi Qingtang spoke and quickly placed the little white tiger beside the black ball. Without saying nonsense, the little white tiger opened its mouth wide and started to absorb the demonic aura on the black ball. The black ball that was floating in the air was condensed by the demonic aura in the hell of a Visinaraka mystic realm. It had enormous energy, and the little white tiger needed some time to absorb all of it. At that instant, Yi Qingtang was in thought as she looked at the black ball. Previously, the heart of the demon god in her body could absorb the demonic aura on the little white tiger, so could it absorb the demonic aura energy in the black ball as well? At that thought, her heart moved at will. Buzz! The heart of the demon god started beating quickly. In the next second, the heart of the demon god actually started to absorb the demonic aura of the black ball. The little white tiger was stunned at the sight. It looked at Yi Qingtang and said in a panic, "Fuck you. You're even snatching my food. Are you human?" Yi Qingtang stared at the little white tiger blankly. She only had this thought earlier on, but who knew that the heart of the demon god would act on its own and begin to absorb the demonic aura energy? It was not what she could control. Forget it that you're snatching my food, but you're absorbing it faster than me. What is the meaning of this? Fuck you. At that moment, the little white tiger used all its energy desperately and began to suck the demonic aura of the black ball. Yet, despite so, the heart of the demon god began to absorb even faster. About 15 minutes later, the heart of the demon god absorbed 1/3 of the demonic aura of the black ball and was in a saturated condition. However, the saturated heart of the demon god crazily absorbed the demonic aura of the black ball which, through the heart of the demon god, evolved into spirit energy and entered Yi Qingtang's body. Slow down, will you? Fuck you. The little white tiger was anxious and furious. You've absorbed it all. I only ate a tiny bit. Do you still have any humanity in you? Yi Qingtang did not respond to the little white tiger as she was astounded when she felt what the heart of the demon god returned to her. After sucking the demonic aura on the black ball until it was saturated, the heart of the demon god did not stop. Instead, it turned the demonic aura into spirit energy and delivered it into her body. This spirit energy was extremely magnificent and faintly gave her a trace of another breakthrough. Before long, Yi Qingtang's eyes flickered, and the martial aura suddenly strengthened multiple times of that from before. Third heaven of martial chi level 3. Yi Qingtang exclaimed. In the blink of an eye, the spirit energy absorbed from this black ball allowed Yi Qingtang to rapidly reach the third heaven of martial chi level 3 from the second heaven of martial chi level 3, and there were no signs of it stopping. Mid-stage of third heaven of martial chi level 3, late stage of third heaven of martial chi level 3, peak of third heaven of martial chi level 3, half-step yin-yang perfected lord. Elation emerged in Yi Qingtang's eyes. In just 15 minutes, her martial cultivation achieved a breakthrough from the second heaven of martial chi level 3 to the peak of third heaven of martial chi level 3 and even reached the half-step yin-yang perfected lord state. Then, the speed that the heart of the demon god was absorbing finally slowed down gradually until it stopped. Fuck you. Didn't we agree to let me absorb it? After absorbing the last trace of demonic aura on the black ball, the little white tiger looked at Yi Qingtang with an indignant expression. As the demonic aura in the black ball was completely absorbed away, the black ball that was initially floating in the air crushed instantly and turned into nothingness. Although the demonic aura energy in the black ball was extremely magnificent, Yi Qingtang had absorbed 3/4 of it while the little white tiger merely absorbed 1/4 of it. Yi Qingtang shot a look at the little white tiger. She did not do it intentionally as the heart of the demon god was not what she could control. Earlier on, she never thought of snatching the demonic aura on the black ball with the little white tiger. She could only say that the little white tiger had bad luck. Congratulations, holy lady. Your martial skills have improved further. You're only days away from the yin-yang perfected lord realm. It is truly to be congratulated. The Blood Moon Elder rushed up hurriedly and piled smiles on his face. Although the Blood Moon Elder did not know how Yi Qingtang did it, he had long been accustomed to the various miracles that Yi Qingtang displayed. It's the heart in her body again. After calming down, the little white tiger's eyes landed on Yi Qingtang's chest subtly. Could it be that, the rumor that my father told me back then was all true? Could it, really be related to that heavenly emperor? If that was really the case, won't the history back then be repeated once again? The little white tiger had a serious expression as it pondered to itself. Yi Qingtang saw the little white tiger in deep thought from the corner of her eyes. Do you have anything hidden from me? Yi Qingtang asked the little white tiger with a slight frown. The little white tiger was a little taken aback by Yi Qingtang's question. After it returned to its senses, it snorted coldly. Fuck you. You absorbed my energy previously and absorbed 3/4 of the demonic aura energy in the black ball now. We clearly signed an equality contract, but my treatment is worse than what I'd have if we signed a master and servant contract. With a scoff, the little white tiger immediately looked away and seemed as if it did not wish to talk to her. Yi Qingtang felt a little awkward to hear that. What this little white tiger said made sense as well. She and the Blood Moon Elder only followed behind it, and the mutated beast which had the combat power of a half-step yin-yang perfected lord was also killed by the little white tiger. She did not do anything at all yet reaped the largest gains. You are a fiend celestial beast and have such a noble identity. How can you be so petty? At most, it'll just compensate more to you. Yi Qingtang promised ultimately. I don't care. If you ever enter a mystic realm, land of inheritance, or a blessed grotto heaven in the future, all the treasures you obtain will be split 50-50 with me. The little white tiger puckered its lips and put on an expression which read, I will not forgive you if you don't agree. 40-60. Yi Qingtang smiled. Okay. The little white tiger nodded straightforwardly. After witnessing the sight, the Blood Moon Elder could only sigh. Thinking about it carefully, he seemed to live a life even worse than that beast. To think that he was so powerful on this mainland 1,000 years ago, but 1,000 years from then on, the world had changed. Yi Qingtang's lips were curled up at that moment. Currently, she had finally entered the half-step yin-yang perfected Lord state, and it was only a matter of time for her to break through to the yin-yang perfected Lord state. In her previous life, she used a whole 10 years to reach the yin-yang perfected Lord state with much difficulty. Give me some more time. Yi Qingtang's eyes flickered. Once I truly enter the yin-yang perfected Lord state, I will order a change to the world. My dear fiend celestial beast, how is the energy stored in your body? How long can you sustain your enlarged form? The Blood Moon Elder looked at the little white tiger and asked with a smile. Chapter 649, Crazy Loot of the Meteoric Iron. Whether they could leave the hell of Avicenaraka alive all depended on the fiend celestial beast. That was the reason why the Blood Moon Elder was so concerned about it. Fuck, if she did not snatch 3/4 of the demonic energy, I would be able to last for at least 10 to 12 hours. Now, maybe 2 hours. The white tiger puffed. Yes, it's all her fault. Dear Master Fiend Celestial Beast, don't be angry. The Blood Moon Elder smiled. Yi Qingtang shot a look at the Blood Moon Elder. His sucking up skills had reached the peak level. Master Fiend Celestial Beast, don't be bothered by a young lady when we are all men. All men. The white tiger sized up the Blood Moon Elder. Before the Blood Moon Elder could say anything, Yi Qingtang went forward and kicked him. What did you say just now? Ha! Holy lady, don't be bothered by an animal. The Blood Moon Elder said softly. He tapped his butt and went forward immediately. Yi Qingtang stared blankly at him. The Blood Moon Elder was really skilled. No wonder he could take up the position as a Blood Moon Elder. She really looked down on him previously. Yi Qingtang did not bother to talk to the Blood Moon Elder. She looked up into the sky. As more and more cultivators died, more blood was rushing towards the 3rd level. She stared at the staircase in mid-air and said, we shall go to the 3rd level to take a look. She disappeared from the place she was at in the next second. Yi Qingtang was on the staircase and climbing upwards after a short while. There were others from the super sects who wanted to climb up the staircase to reach the 2nd or the 3rd level previously. However, before they could take a few steps, they were attacked by the mutated flying beasts. They either fell off from the staircase or were torn into pieces. Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder who were climbing on the staircase also were not able to avoid the attacks. The ferocious flying beasts rushed towards the staircase from all directions. Yi Qingtang curled her lips and showed a cold smile. Though the number of these ferocious flying beasts was large, their abilities could only match with someone at the 1st heaven of the martial chi level 3, though some could reach the early stage of the 2nd heaven. However, Yi Qingtang's martial ability had entered the peak stage of the 3rd heaven of the martial chi level 3, which was known as a half-step yin-yang perfected lord. How could she be afraid of the mutated ferocious flying beasts? How dare you, weak bastards! Yi Qingtang shouted coldly as the numerous ferocious flying beasts rushing towards her. She flicked her palm, and rays of golden flames rose towards the sky. Any flying beast who was in contact with the golden flame was burned into ashes. Even those whose abilities matched with people at early stage of the second heaven of the martial chi level 3 standard did not dare to approach anymore. It seemed that the lady was a ferocious god from hell. Yi Qingtang hugged the white tiger and led the Blood Moon Elder on the staircase. It took them only a short while to arrive at the second level. Yi Qingtang overlooked the entire landscape of the second level on the staircase. The second level of the Land of Inheritance was formed by iron mountains. Millennium Meteoric Iron? Yi Qingtang was shocked by the scene. The Millennium Meteoric Iron was an extremely rare material. It was hard to find it on this land. When she was cultivating at the Falling Sky Valley in her previous life, her master always told her that his biggest wish was to find 5 kilograms of meteorite iron to forge a black-level divine weapon. Chapter 650, I'll keep for you. Based on Yi Qingtang's observations, there were at least a few million kilograms of the Millennium Meteoric Iron on the second level. Oh my god! The Blood Moon Elder exclaimed at the meteoric iron mountain below the staircase. During the prime of the Blood Moon sect 1,000 years ago, the amount of the Millennium Meteoric Iron in the sect was only around 10 kilograms, swoosh. Yi Qingtang flew up and landed on the meteoric iron mountain in the next second. Yi Qingtang was very swift as she put all the scattered Millennium Meteoric Iron into her space ring until the entire space was full. Around 100 kilograms. It's a pity that the storage of my space ring is not enough, Yi Qingtang sighed. However, when she just turned over, she realized that the Blood Moon Elder was also continuously picking up and putting the Millennium Meteoric Iron into his space ring. Ha 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 ha, I'm rich now. This is indeed the Land of Inheritance, ha 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 ha. 100 kilograms of Millennium Meteoric Iron. The Blood Moon Elder stared at his space ring and laughed constantly. Give it to me, Yi Qingtang smiled and walked towards the Blood Moon Elder. The Blood Moon Elder was stunned. It's not safe on you. I'm stronger than you, so I'll keep it for you. If you need it, I'll return it to you. Yi Qingtang seemed to be caring for him. What? Don't you trust me? Yi Qingtang asked. You're such a disappointment. Yi Qingtang sighed. Holy lady, don't cheat me. The Blood Moon Elder had no choice but to give his space ring to Yi Qingtang. Why would I cheat you? It's just some rotten meteoric iron. I'll return it to you if you need it. Now, I'm keeping for you just in case. Yi Qingtang took over the space ring and comforted the Blood Moon Elder. Though her words seemed to be trustworthy, the Blood Moon Elder had the feeling that the 100 kilograms of meteorite iron would never be on his hand again. The Blood Moon Elder was not reconciled of his loss after passing his space ring to Yi Qingtang. He picked up another few kilograms of meteorite iron and placed them in his pockets before he felt satisfied. The few kilograms meteoric iron on you, Yi Qingtang stared at the Blood Moon Elder. Holy lady. They're too heavy. I shall keep them personally, the Blood Moon Elder said immediately. Alright. But if you feel that they're too heavy, just give them to me and I'll keep for you, fuck you. What's the point of fighting over the rotten iron? The white tiger's face was full of disdain. The Millennium Meteoric Iron was totally useless to Fiend Celestial Beast. Soon, after collecting the Millennium Meteoric Iron, Yi Qingtang stepped onto the staircase again unwillingly and climbed towards the third level. They finally reached the third level after an hour. It was another small world on the third level. There was a giant palace at the center. The blood of the dead cultivators from the first level was flying towards the palace. Weird energy turbulence came out from the palace. You stay here. I'll go take a look at the palace, Yi Qingtang said to the Blood Moon Elder. The dangers inside the palace were unknown. It would be hard for the Blood Moon Elder to protect himself as he was still at the peak stage of the first heaven of martial chi level 3. The Blood Moon Elder understood Yi Qingtang's intention. He did not say anything and chose to wait at the place. Chapter 651, It's Actually You. 1. Yi Qingtang disappeared and flew towards the palace instantly. The temperature in the palace was extremely low. There was a divine sword formed by frost floating in mid-air. The mysterious black-robed man was sitting under the divine sword. Countless drops of blood were traveling into the palace, they were all absorbed by the ice-frost divine sword. Every time it absorbed blood, its energy was restored slightly. Yi Qingtang hid in the corner and stared at the ice-frost divine sword. That's a heaven-level divine weapon. Yi Qingtang was appalled and could not believe what she saw. The heaven-level divine weapon only existed in tales and legends. There were almost no appearances of heaven-level divine weapons in the first domain. Even in her previous life when she became the Holy Venerate after 300 years, the divine weapon she had was just an earth-level divine weapon, which was below the heaven level. That's not right, Yi Qingtang shook her head secretly. Though the ice-frost divine sword was of the heaven level, it did not seem to be in its complete form. Now, the most power it could show was similar to that of an earth-level divine weapon. However, despite that, it was astonishing. Hee. Young one, show yourself. Suddenly, the black-robed elderly who sat under the ice-frost divine sword smiled and said. Yi Qingtang frowned as she heard the voice. She had hidden her martial aura, but she was still discovered. Your perception is really amazing, Yi Qingtang said. There was no point hiding anymore since she was discovered. Yi Qingtang walked out from the shadows immediately. Young one, you're indeed fascinating. The black-robed man stood up slowly and looked at Yi Qingtang, who was walking out from the dark. Senior, since we're here now, we should not hide anything. I guess it's you who is manipulating the hell of Avicenaraka. May I know what your intentions are? Yi Qingtang said and stared at the black-robed man. The black-robed man smiled coldly. That's right. I am controlling the 100-level peril hell of Avicenaraka. As for my intention, can't you see it? You want to resurrect the ice-frost divine sword. However, this will require everyone's life here. Is that inappropriate? Yi Qingtang said. Actually, it did not bother Yi Qingtang at all when the black-robed man wanted to use others' blood to resurrect the ice-frost divine sword. However, she was in the hell of Avicenaraka as well. She did not want to die for the ice-frost divine sword. Everyone here has sinned. It's your honor to use your sinned blood to resurrect my ice-frost divine sword. It's my mercy as well. You're crazy. A glint flickered in Yi Qingtang's eyes. The black-robed man smiled softly. Yi Qingtang, you were able to survive till now in the hell of Avicenaraka, and be the only one who's able to step into my palace on the 3rd level. I'm very pleased. That's part of your effort as well. If you did not tell me about the space transfer talisman, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to last till now. So, Senior, I doubt that we know each other right, Yi Qingtang said and looked at the black-robed man. Yi Qingtang, you're brave and smart. I liked you all this time. However, you shouldn't have entered the hell of Avicenaraka. The black-robed man shook his head and sighed softly. Who are you? Can you reveal your true identity? Yi Qingtang asked. Who I am? That's not important. Yi Qingtang, I'll give you a chance. Leave the fiend celestial beast and leave this piece of land alone, the black-robed man said. The black-robed man stared at Yi Qingtang with his eyes that were shown and explained his offer. Bullshit. We did not even meet before, and I don't owe you anything. Fuck you. Why do you want to leave me here? The white tiger shouted in rage. The black-robed man did not respond to the white tiger. He was just staring at Yi Qingtang and seemed to be waiting for her answer. Find authorized novels in web novel faster updates, better experience please click for visiting. After a short while, Yi Qingtang's face was calm, and she said slowly, I'm curious. Why do you want me to leave this piece of land? Yi Qingtang, do Do you want to know the reason? The black-robed man sneered. I'll listen to the story. Yi Qingtang nodded. It's because this piece of land is full of sin. It needs to be destroyed. However, I'm willing to offer you a chance to live. Leave this land alone. Are you willing to accept my offer? The black-robed man said. After hearing the black-robed man's words, Yi Qingtang sneered. My parents and my siblings all live on this mainland. However, you want to kill all of them now and still ask me whether I'll accept your offer. Don't you think it's pretty ridiculous? So, you do not accept. The black-robed man's voice was full of disappointment. The fiend celestial beast had signed the equality contract with me, so I will not leave it here. As for this mainland, no one dares to destroy it. Yi Qingtang said firmly. Then we can only be enemies. The black-robed man sighed. It seems that we will never be friends. Yi Qingtang's lips curled. The black-robed man stood up slowly from the ground and swiped the dust on his clothes. Yi Qingtang, before you make your final decision, let me tell you a story first, the black-robed man said and looked at Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang could not tell the martial aura of the black-robed man. Thus, she did not rush to attack. This mainland was just a small island in the past. There was a lady who came from the Central Dynasty, and she used her own spiritual abode to form the mainland. She led the ancestors of the people here now to live on the mainland and taught them the higher levels of martial culture. Thus, there were many loyal followers of her. However, things changed. The lattice strength was almost all used up as a result of forming the mainland. The greedy ancestors hurt the lady to acquire her last bit of energy. So, tell me. Do you think the people on this mainland deserve to die? Yi Qingtang had heard of the story from the white tiger before, so she did not have any feelings. No matter how many sins our ancestors had in the past, they're already dead. This has nothing to do with their descendants. Furthermore, not every cultivator took a part of that. Most of them are innocent. Yi Qingtang rebutted. He, everyone on the mainland here shares the bloodline of the ancestors. So, no one is innocent. The black-robed man chuckled and shook his head. Just now you said there were a few loyal followers of the lady. So, are you a descendant of one of those followers? Yi Qingtang probed. However, the black-robed man did not seem to hide anything. He nodded and confessed. That's right. My ancestor was the loyal follower of the lady, and it does not change to my generation. I understand already. Yi Qingtang nodded as she looked at the black-robed person. There would never be a conclusion if one were to debate over the right and wrong on this matter. As a loyal follower of that extraordinary lady, the black-robed person wanted to avenge her, and there was nothing wrong with this. If it were Yi Qingtang, she might not be any better than the black-robed person. However, from another point of view, the predecessors who schemed against the extraordinary lady were almost all dead as time passed, and the people living on this mainland presently did not do anything wrong. Yi Qingtang's foster father and everyone in the Yi family clan grew up in this mainland. Should they all die to return the blood debt of those damn predecessors whom they did not even know? Who was right, and who was wrong? The right and wrong could no longer be judged. From the black-robed person's point of view, there was indeed nothing wrong about seeking revenge. On the other hand, there was all the more nothing wrong with Yi Qingtang wanting to protect her foster father, the Yi family clan, Xianling sect, and even Falling Sky Valley. Currently, arguing about right and wrong was out of the question, and they were only fighting for their beliefs. Actually, I'm very curious about how you can control this mystic realm, Yi Qingtang said. Normally, only the owners of mystic realms could control the mystic realm, but this black-robed person was merely a follower of that extraordinary lady. How could he open this 100-level peril hell of a Vincenarica mystic realm? Yi Qingtang. The black-robed person shook his head and sighed. You have too many questions. Since we are destined to be enemies, there's nothing much to say anymore. Fuck you. All of a sudden, the little white tiger shouted at the black-robed person. Before that extraordinary lady died, she used the dimension wall to protect this mainland, which shows that she does not blame those who caused her death. As the descendant of a follower, what are you blindly worried over? If you have this extra time and energy, slaughter 2 cows and a few lambs and rest at home while savoring some wine. Shut up. After hearing what the little white tiger said, the black-robed person was infuriated. Fuck you. How dare you talk so fiercely to me? The little white tiger revealed its pearly white, sharp teeth. I'll kill you. Really? The black-robed person laughed coldly. As a fiend celestial beast, why don't you come and try? Fuck you. Provoked, the little white tiger immediately told Yi Qingtang. Come. Put me down. If I don't kill him today, I'll go and eat Sichai. Seeing that the little white tiger was really enraged, Yi Qingtang casually threw it to the ground. However, there was still no trace of change in the little white tiger after some time. Change, Yi Qingtang said with a frown. Wait. The little white tiger looked around the place and suddenly scolded loudly. Fuck. There is an array formation bound here. The demonic aura in my body is suppressed. I can't use it. Yi Qingtang stared blankly at the little white tiger. Ha ha ha. The black-robed person laughed coldly. You could only transform in the first place not because of your own powers but because of the demonic aura that you plundered from the hell of Avicenaraka mystic realm. Actually, there's no array formation. It's just that this third level is special as it isolates the energy of the demonic aura. Fuck you. I was joking with you just now. The little white tiger said and looked at Yi Qingtang subsequently. Oh right. I suddenly recalled that I still have some matters to settle. I'll leave first. However, the moment it spoke, the little white tiger was carried into Yi Qingtang's arms. Die! The black-robed person bellowed sternly. He turned into a black shadow and skimmed towards Yi Qingtang immediately. Swoosh! As the black-robed person slapped a hand out, a terrifying martial aura was instantly released like a rapid torrent, and it could not be countered. After sensing the martial aura of the black-robed person, Yi Qingtang was slightly stunned. This black-robed person was extremely powerful and had already entered the yin-yang perfected lord state. Fortunately, the elderly's skills were only at the yin lord state of the yin-yang perfected lord state and was at the first heaven of yin lord. If Yi Qingtang had not absorbed the demonic aura from the black ball and hastily fought with the black-robed person, she would probably have been easily killed within 10 moves. However, the current Yi Qingtang had also become a half-step yin-yang perfected lord. With the mental state and experience of a holy venerate in her previous life, she had no fear even if she faced an ordinary yin lord. As the black-robed person landed an extremely powerful slap, Yi Qingtang did not retreat and charged forward instead. She raised her palm and slapped it out at the black-robed person as well. Boom! Boom! In the next second, a thunderous explosion rang in the palace. An invisible hurricane gushed in the surroundings with a horrifying sound. Fuck you! The little white tiger in Yi Qingtang's arms initially peeked its head out to take a look. However, the force of the impact of the slap caused the little white tiger to be flung out from Yi Qingtang's arms. In the next second, both Yi Qingtang and the black-robed person retreated several steps. The black-robed person steadied himself and looked at Yi Qingtang in extreme shock. This girl had actually raised her martial skills to half-step yin-yang perfected lord in such a short amount of time. How exactly did she do it? No matter what encounters a cultivator had, they still needed to correspond and be compatible with their mental state. If an ordinary martial Qi level 1 cultivator obtained a powerful destiny and leaped into the yin-yang perfected lord state, the overly fast advancement in cultivation state would result in frightening mental demons due to the incompatibility between one's mental state and martial skills. As a result, it would be easy to have Qi deviation, and it could ruin the cultivator's foundation, causing all of their cultivation to be abolished. They might even drop dead on the spot if serious. The logic was very simple. Suddenly obtaining the skills of a yin-yang perfected lord without the mental state of a yin-yang perfected lord would cause an unforeseen accident. However, Yi Qingtang was a holy venerate in her previous life, and her mental state was that of a holy venerate. No matter how fast her skills advanced, it did not matter even if she returned to her peak state as a holy venerate in a night. However, the black-robed person knew none of that. Yi Qingtang, you're really a talented genius. If you can leave this mainland and properly cultivate, you will definitely become a true powerful figure one day. However, you chose to protect the source of this mainland's sin. The black-robed person sighed as he looked at Yi Qingtang. Protect the source of sin. Yi Qingtang laughed coldly. I am not as noble as you said. I'm only protecting my family, martial siblings, and masters. What had the lives and deaths of others got to do with her? Even if this black-robed person killed all living things in the world, it had not a slight thing to do with Yi Qingtang. However, if it implicated her family and friends, Yi Qingtang would stop it no matter the price. Even if she would fall into the lowest level of hell for eternity, she would turn into an evil spirit, crawl out from hell, and pull those people under the ground. Yi Qingtang, you're still so stubborn. I wanted to spare your life, but you wanted to court death. Don't blame me then. A cold glint flashed across the black-robed person's eyes. Chapter 655, It's Actually You, 5, The black-robed person charged towards Yi Qingtang once again, wanting to take her life. Yi Qingtang advanced as well and entered a brawl with the black-robed person. Both of them exchanged blows. If it were other ordinary cultivators, they would have long died. Fuck you. Suddenly, the little white tiger leaped up and bit the black-robed person's calf. Even if the current little white tiger could not use the stored demonic force in its body and had almost no combat power, it was, after all, a fiend celestial beast. Its fangs were parallel to a divine weapon and could easily pierce through metal. Fuck you. I'm biting you to death. As the little white tiger spoke, it bit down again. Its sharp teeth pierced into the black-robed person's calf, and blood oozed out instantly. The black-robed person scoffed coldly and used the impact of his martial aura to throw the little white tiger several meters away. However, the little white tiger had thick skin as a fiend celestial beast and ran back quickly. Fuck you. I have thick skin and can endure beatings. Even if it's a young lord, I can also let him hammer me a few times, much less a yin lord like you. Afterward, the little white tiger opened its mouth and charged toward the black-robed person. This time, however, it was already kicked away by the black-robed person before it could touch him. Are you alright? Yi Qingtang's brows were slightly furrowed as she looked at the little white tiger that was flung away. That black-robed person was, after all, a yin-yang perfected lord, and his skills were undoubted. Even if the little white tiger was a fiend celestial beast, it probably did not feel good to be beaten a few times. Fuck you. The little white tiger crawled up from the ground staggeringly and stared at Yi Qingtang. What do you mean? Are you looking down on me? You should ask whether his leg that kicked me is all right. Yi Qingtang stared blankly at the little white tiger. I'll kill you. Suddenly enraged, the black-robed person walked toward the little white tiger. Wait. The little white tiger's hair stood up all over. Big brother of the human clan, I was wrong. I still have something on. You all can fight first. After leaving that sentence, the little white tiger turned around and vanished without a trace. It had been chased for years in the outside world, and its fleeing abilities were already at the peak of perfection. Yi Qingtang, if you awaken to your senses now, I still can consider sparing your life. The black-robed person looked at Yi Qingtang once again after watching the little white tiger escape. It's not that I'm not awakening to my senses. It's that you're too obstinate to be awakened, Yi Qingtang said with a calm expression. Ha! Yi Qingtang, no matter what you do, the ending of this mainland has already been fixed. No one will be spared. Everyone will die. The black-robed person laughed coldly. Given your skills, it is simply delusional if you wish to destroy this mainland. Or does this have to do with the dimension wall? Yi Qingtang spoke slowly while looking at the black-robed person. Given the black-robed person's skills at the first heaven of Yin-Yang perfected Lord, how could he destroy this mainland? The only thing that Yi Qingtang could think of was the dimension wall that the little white tiger mentioned previously. After hearing Yi Qingtang mention the dimension wall, there was an evident change in that black-robed person's voice. That fiend celestial beast actually told you about the dimension wall as well. Originally, Yi Qingtang guessed that perhaps this black-robed person wished to use the blood of the thousands of cultivators in the hell of Avicenaraka mystic realm as a sacrifice to that Ice Frost divine sword. But even if the Ice Frost divine sword resurrected, it was impossible to destroy a mainland if there was no corresponding level of skills. As such, Yi Qingtang started to suspect the dimension wall. If the dimension wall was damaged or disappeared, powerful figures from the outside world could easily come into here. However, Yi Qingtang could not understand something. Even if the dimension wall disappeared, why would cultivators from the outside world come to this mainland to incite trouble for no reason? What I know is that before that extraordinary lady died, she used her last trace of energy and turned it into a dimension wall. That so-called dimension wall was to prevent powerful figures from the outside world to intrude and plunder. Hence, I guessed that you attracted everyone into the mystic realm to use their blood to resurrect this Ice Frost divine sword and use its power to destroy the dimension wall. Am I right? Yi Qingtang probed. The black-robed person remained silent for a moment after listening to Yi Qingtang. He finally smiled in reply. Yi Qingtang, you're really very smart. You formed a rather complete clue just from a few messy pieces of information. You're right. Attracting those cultivators into the mystic realm was merely to use their blood to resurrect the Ice Frost divine sword. Once it is resurrected, it can easily destroy the dimension wall. By then, powerful figures would come and completely destroy this mainland. Innocent. Yi Qingtang laughed coldly. This mainland's martial culture is backward, and more so, one's skills would be restricted to the yin-yang perfected lord state when they come here no matter how powerful they are because of the thin spirit energy. Since that's the case, why would powerful figures take such a risk to come and destroy this mainland? If Yi Qingtang was a powerful figure from the outside world, she would definitely not head to a mainland with thin spirit energy and a backward martial culture. Yi Qingtang, it's you who are too innocent. The black-robed person said. That lattice body possessed a special bloodline, and her spiritual abode is extremely precious. The lattice identity was the daughter of an ancient clan's clan master in the central mainland. The special bloodline of that lady bred greed in the hearts of those clan members, resulting in a rebellion. They killed the lattice parents and wanted to obtain that lattice divine weapon. Afterward, although the lady fled away from the central mainland, those ancient clan rebels still searched for her in the surroundings and have not given up even now. If the dimension wall is broken and those rebels feel the aura of the lattice spiritual abode, do you think those ancient clan rebels would let off this mainland which was transformed by the lattice spiritual abode? Yi Qingtang was stunned after hearing the black-robed person speak. If it was really as the black-robed person had said, the rebels from the extraordinary lattice clan in the central mainland would definitely come to destroy this mainland and claim the extraordinary lattice spiritual abode. You truly calculated this well. Yi Qingtang's eyes were cold. Thus, the fate of this mainland has already been decided. The black-robed person replied. That may not be so. Yi Qingtang shook her head. If the Ice Frost Divine Sword is unable to resurrect, or if the Ice Frost Divine Sword is not in your hands, you will not be able to destroy the dimension wall. The black-robed person was taken aback for an instant after hearing Yi Qingtang and instinctively turned around to look at the Ice Frost Divine Sword behind him. However, the Ice Frost Divine Sword had already disappeared from its original location. All he saw was that the fiend celestial beast had held the Ice Frost Divine Sword in its mouth from some time ago. How dare you! After noticing the situation, the black-robed person was enraged and chased after the little white tiger immediately. Swoosh! At the same time, a blood-colored sword aura slashed out and forced the black-robed person, who was cornering the little white tiger, to retreat. In the next second, the little white tiger strutted to Yi Qingtang's side with the Ice Frost Divine Sword in its mouth and threw it near her feet. Chapter 657, It's Actually You. 7. Yi Qingtang kept the demonic blood sword in its sheath once again and bent down to pick up the Ice Frost Divine Sword. The moment her hands touched it, she was attacked by a coldness which caused her mind to be slightly dazed. Yi Qingtang immediately used her primordial qi to isolate this coldness, and her complexion finally turned slightly better. You! The black-robed person glared at Yi Qingtang furiously. It's you who is too careless. Yi Qingtang's lips curled up slightly as she held the Ice Frost Divine Sword. I've signed an equality contract with this fiend celestial beast, and we can communicate within our hearts. But you saw that it was an infant and never paid any attention to it. If you could be more cautious, even if it was just to be on your guard against this seemingly useless fiend celestial beast, I would not have obtained this Ice Frost Divine Sword so easily. Give it to me. The black-robed person stretched a hand out to Yi Qingtang. Ha! Yi Qingtang chuckled. Come and take it yourself if you want it. Then, the black-robed person indeed walked towards Yi Qingtang in large strides. However, Yi Qingtang waved the Ice Frost Divine Sword in her hand before he neared her. In an instant, an extremely terrifying force of the ice frost froze the entire hall. Had the black-robed person not dodged in time, he would have ended up like this palace. Yi Qingtang, do you think that the Ice Frost Divine Sword belongs to you now that you obtained it? The black-robed person asked. No matter whether it belongs to me or not, it definitely does not belong to you at this moment. Yi Qingtang scoffed coldly. Before waiting for the black-robed person to say anything again, Yi Qingtang waved the Ice Frost Divine Sword and flew towards him. Although the Ice Frost Divine Sword was not yet resurrected, it was an authentic heaven-grade divine weapon as in the legends, and the force of one strike was extremely frightening. Facing Yi Qingtang, who wielded the Ice Frost Divine Sword, the black-robed person could only dodge and did not dare to fight head-on. Yi Qingtang, why must you protect the sinners of this mainland? The black-robed person inquired in a cold tone. Ha! You're a coward who bullies the weak and is afraid of the powerful. Yi Qingtang scoffed as she chased after the black-robed person. What did you say? The black-robed person hollered in fury. If you were true enough to that lady, what you should do is head to the central mainland and annihilate that ancient clan which mutinied. You should not think of how to destroy this mainland. If the dimension wall is really broken, powerful figures from that ancient clan would be attracted here. They would destroy this mainland and obtain the lattice spiritual abode. Is this really what you wish to see? Those people are the ones who killed her clan and family, caused her to be homeless, and forced her to leave the central mainland. Are you loyal or disloyal? The black-robed person was dumbfounded. Yi Qingtang's words seemed to have poured cold water on him. Previously, he only thought that it was the people on this mainland who killed the lady. Thus, he wanted to seek revenge by using blood and misery to cleanse this mainland. However, if that ancient clan obtained the lattice spiritual abode. Swoosh! At this moment of trance, Yi Qingtang had already neared the black-robed person. Yi Qingtang clutched onto his black robe, exerted force in her palms, and threw the black robe off. However, after seeing the face of the black-robed person, Yi Qingtang's eyes suddenly dilated. She was in extreme disbelief. This was a face that Yi Qingtang was extremely familiar with, yet it appeared especially foreign right now. Never had she expected that the black-robed person would actually be him. How can it be? Why is it you? Yi Qingtang took several steps back, unwilling to believe this reality. Chapter 658, It's Actually You, 8. Yi Qingtang was in utter disbelief as she stared at the black-robed person before her. She had thought of everyone, but she never thought that it would actually be him. Qingtang, it's been a long time, the elderly said gently with a smile. I did not expect it to actually be you. Grand Elder. Yi Qingtang's heart was rather complicated as she looked at that familiar face. This black-robed person was none other than Xianling sect's Grand Elder. Qingtang, you still found out eventually. Venerable Wu smiled after remaining silent for a moment. I should have realized a long time ago. Yi Qingtang looked at the Grand Elder and continued. Back when I pretended to be Blood Moon Sect's guardian, you exposed my identity with one sentence. Initially, I thought that you accidentally let it slip, but thinking about it now, I'm afraid you did it deliberately. Grand Elder, the annihilation of Xianling sect should also be part of your plan, right? Yi Qingtang added. The Grand Elder did not deny it. Qingtang, you're a really big wild card. Actually, according to the original plan, the hell of a Vicenerac would only start a few years later. However, you exposed Fu Lingshan's identity and caused him to drag Ning Luo in. Thus, the annihilation of the sect had to be brought forward. Grand Elder, you're truly evil. You sacrificed so many innocent lives from Xianling sect just for this so-called plan. Yi Qingtang said angrily. Only by making Yunshao sect aware that Xianling sect knows of their scheme in seizing others' spirit roots would they want to silence Xianling sect. And only when Xianling sect is annihilated would the inheritance mystic realm that belongs solely to Xianling sect become an ownerless mystic realm. This will allow everyone to let down their guard and enter the 100-level peril hell of Avincenarica defenseless. Grand Elder, you calculated and schemed this really well. The Grand Elder laughed coldly. You still barely saved Xianling sect. That's right. Yi Qingtang said and nodded. I pretended to be a Blood Moon guardian and brought the Blood Moon sect members to the sect. I originally hoped that it could resolve the sect's crisis, but you exposed my identity at the most inappropriate timing. Everything you did is for the events to happen according to your plan. Qingtang, you're indeed very intelligent. Venerable Wu nodded and seemed to be rather gratified. Never had I expected that the person who caused Xianling sect to be annihilated to be you, Xianling sect's Grand Elder. I wish to ask, when you saw those Xianling sect disciples who willingly gave up their lives in order to protect the sect, did your ruthless heart ache? After hearing Yi Qingtang's words, the Grand Elder was slightly taken aback. His calm eyes, however, had some fluctuations. The scene from that day still lingered in the mind. It was as though he could still hear the screams of those hot-blooded boys. Grand Elder, you used Xianling sect's blood for your ruthless plan. Does your heart really not hurt? Yi Qingtang asked. Qingtang, don't say any more rubbish. The Grand Elder waved a hand and interrupted her. I have been in Xianling sect since I was 7. I've been Xianling sect's sect master and subsequently the Grand Elder. No one would have deeper feelings for Xianling sect than me. However, this mainland will be destroyed sooner or later. Why not, then, make Xianling sect's destruction be more meaningful? A layer of icy frost extended on Venerable Wu's wound. Venerable Wu, if you repent in time, I will treat it as though I've never seen you. Yi Qingtang said with a frown as she looked at Venerable Wu, who was frozen by the ice frost divine sword. In Xianling sect, Venerable Wu indeed cared a lot for her. Even in this hell of a Visinaraka mystic realm, he turned into the black-robed person and still saved her using other methods. Yi Qingtang did not wish to do anything to the Grand Elder, but the pretext was that he could let go of the grudge and stop thinking of destroying this mainland. The icy frost on Venerable Wu's wound continued to spread. In just a short while, half of his body was already sealed in the frost. Qingtang. Venerable Wu said and looked at Yi Qingtang. There is a good saying. Legitimacy belongs to the victor. Chapter 660, Who are you? 2, Venerable Wu's lips curled up slightly. A faint smile emerged on his face as he looked at Yi Qingtang. Actually, I forcefully advanced to Yin Yang, perfected lord from the peak of the third heaven of martial Qi level 3, which caused mental demons. I don't have much time left. However, I am very gratified to witness your growth in my last moments. Qingtang, you are Xianling sect's pride. He shook his head and continued. I really miss the times we refined weapons in Xianling sect. As Venerable Wu finished his sentence, he turned into a ball of bloody fog and instantly surged into the ice frost divine sword in Yi Qingtang's hands. Grand Elder. Yi Qingtang's brows were slightly furrowed. Venerable Wu forcefully advanced his cultivation state, which damaged his veins. He already had serious internal injuries, and after being wounded by the ice frost divine sword through their battle, nothing could be done to save him. Boom! Without giving time for Yi Qingtang to think further, the palace suddenly shook. Fuck! The ice frost divine sword deviated from its initial location. The third level is about to collapse. The little white tiger said hurriedly. After hearing that, Yi Qingtang immediately grabbed the little white tiger and fled away from the palace. Seeing Yi Qingtang from afar, the Blood Moon Elder rushed forward hurriedly. Holy Lady, what happened? The Blood Moon Elder scanned Yi Qingtang and asked. Leave this place first. Yi Qingtang could not be bothered to say any useless crap to the Blood Moon Elder. Since she had already obtained the Ice Frost Divine Sword, the dimension wall would not be broken, and the pressing matter was to leave the third level first. Very quickly, the Blood Moon Elder followed Yi Qingtang and returned to the first level. It was a boundless zone of ice. Currently, the number of surviving cultivators in the first level was already less than 1/3 of the original number. Yi Qingtang, you're indeed a huge wild card. When they reached the first level, they saw a Buddha statue moving with a young male on its shoulder. The good-looking male was dressed in white, and his eyes landed right on Yi Qingtang. Ning Luo. Yi Qingtang frowned slightly as she looked at the male standing on the Buddha statue. What exactly was Ning Luo's identity for him to be able to control the fierce creatures in the hell of a Visinaraka mystic realm? The demonized Buddha statue in front of them was extremely powerful, and one could not tell its exact level of skills. Its aura was even more terrifying than that of the previous Buddha statue in the blood-colored city. Yi Qingtang, perhaps I was too kind then. Ning Luo shook his head. This matter has nothing to do with you originally, but you had to intervene in it. Ning Luo, who are you? What do you want? Yi Qingtang asked with a calm expression. What do I want? Ning Luo scoffed. Naturally, it is to kill all of the sinners on this mainland. Who exactly are you? Yi Qingtang was rather confused. Who I am is not important. Ning Luo shook his head, seeming to be unwilling to resolve Yi Qingtang's confusion. According to what Venerable Wu said, Ning Luo was not a descendant of a follower, yet why? Return the sword to me. Ning Luo did not answer Yi Qingtang's question and instead looked at the Ice Frost Divine Sword in her hands. Ha! Yi Qingtang sneered coldly. This sword is mine. Why should I give it to you? This sword is yours. Ning Luo's face was emotionless as he stared at Yi Qingtang. Why haven't I heard about that? Before Yi Qingtang could say anything else, the Ice Frost Divine Sword flew out of her hands instantly. When Yi Qingtang returned to her senses, the Ice Frost Divine Sword was already in Ning Luo's hands. Chapter 661, Who Are You? 3. Yi Qingtang looked down in shock at her empty hand which previously held the Ice Frost Divine Sword. The Ice Frost Divine Sword was actually taken away by Ning Luo without her sensing anything. Even more so, Yi Qingtang did not discover Ning Luo making any movements. It was as though the Ice Frost Divine Sword flew into Ning Luo's hand by itself. Ning Luo, who on earth are you exactly? Yi Qingtang asked with a low voice as she looked at the male on the Buddha statue. Yi Qingtang could not gauge Ning Luo's level of skills. She could not even sense any breath when she scanned him carefully. Who I am is not important to you. Ning Luo looked at Yi Qingtang without any emotions. There is a bloodline on your body that I miss. This is also the reason why I did not kill you back then. Bloodline. Yi Qingtang was in thought. Are you saying the immortal and Buddha bloodline? The so-called immortal and Buddha bloodline is merely a concept used by the descendants in general. All the bloodlines of the fourth domain belong to the immortal and Buddha bloodline. The bloodline of you and her are both from the fourth domain. Ning Luo's eyes were distant, seeming to be recalling the past memories. Oh. Yi Qingtang was dazed. Regardless of her previous or current life, Yi Qingtang did not have much understanding about the fourth domain. Yi Qingtang originally thought that the so-called immortal and Buddha bloodline was merely a general designation of the bloodline from the fourth domain. As for whether she and that extraordinary lady shared the same type of bloodline from the fourth domain, it was still unknown. It seems that you already know about her from either the fiend celestial beast or grandfather. Ning Luo smiled faintly at Yi Qingtang. Fuck. What did you mention me for? Since you know that I'm a fiend celestial beast, hurry up and bow in respect. Give me whatever good thing you have. I see that the Ice Frost Divine Sword in your hand seems to not be bad. After hearing that someone mention it, the little white tiger suddenly peeked its head out from Yi Qingtang's arms and uttered arrogantly. However, the moment the little white tiger spoke, the surrounding temperature dropped abruptly, and the Ice Frost Divine Sword let out a sword cry for some reason. Noticing the situation, the little white tiger took a look at the Ice Frost Divine Sword first and then at Ning Luo. Why? You're unhappy after I said a few sentences. If you're unhappy, then treat it as though I did not say anything. Yi Qingtang pinched her glabella upon hearing that. She had no idea what to say to this fiend celestial beast anymore. Impudent. Suddenly, the Blood Moon Elder took a step forward and stood in front of Ning Luo. How dare you speak to my Blood Moon Sex holy lady like this? You get lost. Ning Luo shouted coldly. At the same time, the demonized Buddha statue beneath Ning Luo opened its enraged eyes. It looked at the Blood Moon Elder and rammed a punch out. Before the punch even landed, the air pressure of the punch already blew the Blood Moon Elder several dozens of meters away. Holy lady, that demonized Buddha statue is too powerful. It's even more powerful than the one in the blood-colored city. Alarmed, the Blood Moon Elder warned Yi Qingtang frantically. After hearing it, Yi Qingtang had a grave expression, and she looked at the little white tiger in her arms. Fuck you. Don't look at me. I can't. The little white tiger shook its head hurriedly. This is no longer the third level. Yi Qingtang reminded. Not the third level. Meaning? The little white tiger looked at Yi Qingtang, baffled. It means that you can use the demonic aura stored in your body already, Yi Qingtang sighed. Chapter 662, Who Are You? 4. The little white tiger was in a daze for a few seconds. After returning to its senses, it had a shaken expression. Right. This isn't the third level. It cannot suppress my demonic aura anymore. The little white tiger was delighted and looked at Ning Luo. Fellow, you're very arrogant and conceited. How dare you speak to me like that just now? Do you know that I am very angry now? The consequences of making me angry are very serious. Your outcome will be extremely tragic. The familiar arrogant expression emerged on the little white tiger's face again. Roar! The demonized Buddha statue beneath Ning Luo roared angrily. It lifted its feet and wanted to step on the little white tiger. In the next second, the little white tiger jumped out from Yi Qingtang's arms. When it landed on the ground, its body had already grown to a size of over 10 meters. It had a commanding expression as though he was the king of this world. Roar! With an angry roar, the white tiger launched its huge body at the demonized Buddha statue instantly. As the two enormous creatures clashed, an earth-shattering sound erupted, draining one of all color. At that instant, more and more cultivators rushed over, wanting to know what happened at this ice field. Before long, numerous powerful figures from super sects arrived at the first moment. That is Ning Luo. One of the Yunshao sect wardens was shocked when he saw the man on the Buddha statue. Why was their Yunshao sect disciple, Ning Luo, standing on this dangerous creature in the hell of a Visanaraka mystic realm? Fiend celestial beast. Other super sects figures took notice of the white tiger quickly and were astonished. And that Xianling sect disciple, Yi Qingtang? Could it be that what the black-robed person said is true? Yi Qingtang from a mere small sect really subdued the white tiger in the hell of a Visanaraka mystic realm? The forces from the formidable Heavens dynasty and Nine Knights dynasty started buzzing immediately. Ning Luo, kill Yi Qingtang and snatch that fiend celestial beast over. If you can do it, that is making a huge contribution to the sect. Although the Yunshao sect warden was unclear how Ning Luo could control the demonized Buddha statue, evidently, he did not think too much about it. After hearing that, Ning Luo, who was on the demonized Buddha statue, flashed a faint devilish smile. Thud! After the demonized Buddha statue forced the white tiger to retreat after a punch, it dashed to the Yunshao sect warden's side at the fastest speed. Ning Luo, what are you doing? Seeing that Ning Luo controlled the demonized Buddha statue to be hostile, the Yunshao sect warden was shocked. It had already been some time since they entered this hell of a Visanaraka mystic realm, and naturally, they had witnessed the demonized Buddha statue's horrifying powers. The youngest internal sect elder of their Yunshao sect was killed by the demonized Buddha statue in the blood-colored city some time ago. Ning Luo had an aloof expression as he looked at the Yunshao sect warden as if he was looking at an ant. Before waiting for the Yunshao sect warden to say anything, the demonized Buddha statue roared furiously and hammered the Vajra down instantly. Boom, boom. All everyone saw was that the Yunshao sect warden was hammered by the Vajra. Afterward, his entire body turned into a bloody fog and was absorbed by the Ice Frost Divine Sword in Ning Luo's hand. Senior brother Ning, what are you doing? Ning Luo, how dare you kill a sect warden? Ning Luo, could it be that you wish to rebel? The Yunshao sect disciples shouted sternly when they saw the warden being killed. However, as these Yunshao sect disciples finished speaking, they were each smashed by the demonic Buddha statue with a punch. Chapter 664, Real Identity, Why? Are you very surprised that I can control this sword like this? Ning Luo chuckled gently as he waved the Ice Frost Divine Sword. Given your heart, you don't deserve this heaven-grade divine weapon, Yi Qingtang said straightforwardly. Don't deserve? Ning Luo turned around to look at Yi Qingtang. His aura actually combined perfectly with the Ice Frost Divine Sword in his hand. Did you say that I don't deserve this sword? Ning Luo smiled. It was clearly a person's voice, but when others heard it, it seemed that the Ice Frost Divine Sword and Ning Luo spoke at the same time. You. After sensing the strange aura on Ning Luo's body, Yi Qingtang's expression changed immediately. She was in disbelief. Oh, you seem to finally sense something. It's really not simple. Ning Luo's lips tugged up slightly. You are not a human. Yi Qingtang frowned slightly. Must one be a human if he wears human skin? Ning Luo shook his head. What exactly are you? Yi Qingtang stared straight at Ning Luo. No wonder there was no fluctuation of aura on him and she could not tell his skill level. He was not even human. Ha! Ning Luo chuckled, yet it gave one a piercing coldness. Since you said that I don't deserve this sword, why can't you see that I am the sword itself? You said you are the Ice Frost Divine Sword. Yi Qingtang's eyes were filled with shock. You're the Ice Frost Divine Sword Spirit. Isn't this clear yet? As Ning Luo spoke, his aura had already combined with the Ice Frost Divine Sword to extreme perfection. Currently, Yi Qingtang could no longer tell whether the person was the sword or the sword was the person. Ha! Yi Qingtang, I'm the sword of that lady you talked about. My name is Ice Frost. I'm the Ice Frost Divine Sword. Ning Luo looked at Yi Qingtang, and his lips formed into an icy smile. Before my spiritual wisdom was activated, I had already followed her. I shared life and death with her. I shared glory with her, and she gave me the best sheath. I've been through adversity with her. When it is cold, she knows that I'm not afraid of the cold but still placed me before the fire. When I'm thirsty, she killed enemies while I drank their blood. When he said that, a cold wind roared, and frost fell faintly. When my spiritual wisdom was first activated, I was extremely elated, but she fell into a bloody pool before me. I never thought that the people that she cared deeply for would combine forces to steal everything she had, including her life. Yi Qingtang, don't you think it is perfectly justified for me to wipe out this mainland? At this instant, Yi Qingtang was speechless from the shock. She had guessed all kinds of identities that Ning Luo could have, but she never thought that he was the Ice Frost Divine Sword. Moreover, he was a sword spirit of a heaven-grade divine sword. In this world, ordinary weapons and Dharma treasures had spirituality, but it was not enough for their spiritual wisdom to be activated. However, as the grade of the weapons or Dharma treasures increased, its spirituality would become stronger as well. For example, the Ice Frost Divine Sword was a heaven-grade divine weapon and had followed the extraordinary lady for a long time. Its spiritual wisdom was finally activated, and it became a sword spirit. In this world, there was an extremely limited number of top-notch Dharma treasures of which spiritual wisdom could be activated. Not mentioning the first mainland, even if it was in the third domain of which martial culture was at its peak, a Dharma treasure with activated spiritual wisdom could cause the powerful figures that were at an emperor level to contend for it. For example, Yi Yu was a great empress in her previous life but did not have any fate to obtain a heaven-grade divine weapon with an activated spiritual wisdom. The Ice Frost Divine Sword immediately surged into the air. An almost invisible sword light passed through the limit of the mystic realm and slashed towards the sky in the outside world. At the same time, the mainland, regardless of inside or outside the mystic realm, seemed to quake wildly. Apart from Yi Qingtang, no one else would know what exactly happened. The dimension wall was destroyed by Ning Luo. In at most a few breaths' time, the Ice Frost Divine Sword returned to the ground again. Yi Qingtang, given my current powers, I only destroyed 2/3 of this dimension wall. That ancient clan in the central mainland will not be able to find this place in a short period of time. So, you still have some time. Let me see how exactly your fourth domain bloodline will truly awaken. Let me see how you can stop those powerful figures from the ancient clan of the central mainland. Chapter 666, Who are you to do that? Yi Qingtang sighed after hearing Ning Luo. This sigh was not because of this mainland or the dimension wall but because she felt rather pitiful towards this Ice Frost divine sword. Ever since its spiritual wisdom was activated and it turned into a sword spirit, it had been in a world of misery and seeking revenge. Currently, 2/3 of the dimension wall was destroyed, which was considered a huge blessing in the misfortune to Yi Qingtang. If the dimension wall were completely destroyed, people from that ancient clan in the central mainland would definitely be able to find this place in less than 10 days. However, there was still 1/3 of the dimension wall remaining, which could buy them some time. Yi Qingtang, I hate those who are all talk and no action the most in my life. Since you think that the living beings on this mainland are innocent, do something then. If you're afraid, you can choose to leave this mainland anytime. I hope that we can still meet one day. After the Ice Frost divine sword finished speaking, it turned into a sword shadow immediately and rushed into the end of the sky, vanishing from this mystic realm without a trace. Along with Ning Luo's disappearance, the demonized Buddha statue which was fighting with the white tiger turned silent immediately and no longer moved. The white tiger roared angrily and slammed its paws down, crushing the demonized Buddha statue into powder. As the truth of Ning Luo's identity was revealed, Yi Qingtang finally understood why Ning Luo could influence and even control the hell of Avicenaraka mystic realm. As the Ice Frost divine sword, Ning Luo's body had long been stained with the extraordinary lattice aura. On the other hand, this mystic realm was transformed by the extraordinary lattice soul formation. It was thus reasonable to think that Ning Luo could control this mystic realm. However, before Yi Qingtang could continue to think deeply, cold laughter rang in the air. Fiend Celestial Beast, are you willing to follow me? Afterward, Yi Yu, who was seated on a huge, white spirit fox arrived slowly. Fuck you. Another one coveting after my blood and flesh. The energy in the white tiger's body was already completely depleted, and it had turned into a little white tiger. Yi Yu? Yi Qingtang's eyes flickered when she saw the lady on the spirit fox. Yi Yu probably obtained a pretty large inheritance from that illusory palace in the hell of Avicenaraka mystic realm. The spirit fox beneath her was a king-level demonic beast, yet it was also willing to acknowledge her as its master. Many Yunshao sect disciples finally dared to appear after seeing Yi Yu. Congratulations senior sister Yi Yu for having advanced your skills. Congratulations senior sister Yi Yu for obtaining a king-level demonic beast. Senior sister Yi Yu, that white tiger is the fiend celestial beast in the hell of Avicenaraka mystic realm. If our Yunshao sect can obtain it, we will definitely become the #1 super sect. Apart from the compliments of the disciples, the only remaining Yunshao sect warden chimed in hurriedly. This fiend celestial beast is destined to belong to me, Yi Yu said without emotions. Yi Qingtang sized up Yi Yu with interest. Currently, Yi Yu was merely at the peak of martial chi level 3 3rd heaven, which was not far from her, a half-step yin-yang perfected lord. Even if Yi Yu had her blue spirit root, Yi Qingtang possessed the ultimate origin skill. Yi Yu wanted to snatch the fiend celestial beast away from her. Who was she to do that? Before Yi Qingtang spoke, an icy laugh sounded above them. Yours. In this mystic realm, everything is mine. Who is that? Yi Yu was alarmed. In the next second, that Ice Frost divine sword that had initially disappeared suddenly returned. Swoosh! An icy sword gleam flashed across and pierced into the king-level demonic beast beneath Yi Yu. The king-level spirit fox let out a miserable cry. Unable to hold out any longer, it collapsed on the ground and died. Even after, the sword force never decreased, and it threw Yi Yu several meters away from the point of impact. Puff! Yi Yu's face was ash-white as she spat out a mouthful of blood. Chapter 667, Leaving the Mystic Realm, 1. Yi Yu flicked her wrist slightly and gently wiped the blood off the corners of her lips. As she looked at the Ice Frost divine sword ahead, her brows were furrowed deeply. She had not entered this part of the mystic realm for long and thus did not know what happened. After seeing that Yi Yu was injured by the Ice Frost Divine Sword, everyone from Yunshao's sect was shocked, and several disciples rushed forward hurriedly. What happened here? Yi Yu asked softly. Senior sister Yi Yu, it's Ning Luo. One of the Yunshao sect disciples told Yi Yu about the sequence of events. Ning Luo. After learning the situation, Yi Yu was shocked. Ning Luo was not a human but a sword spirit of a divine sword. Yi Yu, just nice that you're here. I almost forgot about you. Ning Luo's voice appeared from the Ice Frost Divine Sword. In the next second, Ning Luo condensed into a human form. His long black hair swayed in the wind. Wielding the Ice Frost Divine Sword in his hands, his aloof eyes landed on Yi Yu. This is bad. Everyone from Yunshao sect felt their blood run cold when they saw the shocking murderous aura around Ning Luo. Many Yunshao sect disciples were already seniors in the inner sect, and they knew that there were some grudges between Ning Luo and Yi Yu. Back when Ning Luo was in the sect, he had a rather close relationship with a junior sister. However, that junior sister had a conflict with Yi Yu and offended her. Thus, all her cultivation was destroyed, and she was kicked out of the sect. On her departure from the sect, she encountered a group of rogues and had a tragic ending. However, everyone in Yunshao's sect was shocked right now. Ning Luo was a sword spirit which hid in Yunshao's sect. Could it be that he really had some feelings with that junior sister in the sect? When Yi Qingtang saw that Ning Luo returned again, seeming to have some grudges with Yi Yu, she naturally sat out and waited to reap the spoils later on. At that moment, Ning Luo's manner was increasingly shocking. A frightening layer of frost emerged on his body as he faced Yi Yu, seeming as though he was really infuriated. Yi Yu, we can settle our scores now. Ning Luo had an aloof expression. His tone was utterly cold like a million-year-old glacier. Since you are a sword spirit, what grudges do we have? Yi Yu rose slowly and looked at Ning Luo. Who told you that sword spirits do not have feelings? As Ning Luo spoke, the Ice Frost Divine Sword in his hands slashed towards Yi Yu. Almost instantly, the surrounding area was frozen by the aura slashed out by the Ice Frost Divine Sword. Yi Yu was agile and had flown away the instant Ning Luo waved the sword. It was, however, that the few disciples in front of Yi Yu turned into frost and vanished into dust. Back when Ning Luo was hiding in Yunshao sect, he was not close to anyone other than that kind junior sister who was Ning Luo's only friend in Yunshao sect. However, this only friend was indirectly killed by Yi Yu. After the Hell of Avicenaraka mystic realm started, Ning Luo originally thought that Yi Yu had already died in that land of inheritance. Yet, unexpectedly, she gained the inheritance and was not injured at all. Ning Luo, I'll remember our grudge for now. Since you're a sword spirit, you will eventually submit to me one day. Yi Yu stood in the air proudly and stared down at Ning Luo. After hearing that, Ning Luo's lips curled up slightly. I'm afraid that you don't have a future. That's not necessarily so. As Yi Yu spoke, she took out a black talisman which burned on its own in the next second. Spatial Teleport Talisman. Ning Luo was in thought when he saw that talisman. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.